2017's top 7 most amazingest and biggestest open world games.
That sounds like hyperbole. Is it hyperbole, MassiveG? Are you baiting us? No, I'm not baiting you. You see tits in the thumbnail? I didn't think so. This isn't a comprehensive list of every single open world game in 2017. In fact, I'm a little burnt out on open world games. These are games that make me excited despite the fact that they're open world. Games that look like they have really creative and intuitive gameplay that actually make me excited to play another open world game. There are so many games that look like they're trying to innovate that even though I've already made a top games of 2017 video, I wanted to make one specifically about the most interesting open world games of 2017. Let's begin!
Some people look out on the city and just see lights. I see lives, Agent, burning with hope for a better future.
Hell, it's about damn time that we got a game featuring full destruction. I'm talking being able to level entire cities. I gotta be honest, the reason I'm so excited about Crackdown 3 is not because it's a Crackdown game. Actually, I don't really care about that much. It's what the developers are doing with this game, the incredibly unique and mind-blowing stuff that they're putting into it. That is what makes me as giddy as a schoolgirl. It's current year, and we have games with unbelievably realistic graphics. I'm talking taking a DeLorean back to the 1800s and being burned alive for witchcraft realistic. And yet, we've made so little progress with physics-based destruction, which can be a whole lot more interesting than pretty graphics. Before development started on Crackdown 3, the devs asked themselves, what about if, for the first time, we make the whole world fully destructible? They decided that each and every element within Crackdown 3's world should be destructible. More impressively though, everything in the world is physical and everything persists. There's no fakery. The developers described the buildings in Crackdown 3 as physical. They're more than just polygons and textures and shaders within digital space. Instead, concrete acts like concrete, glass acts like glass, and steel as steel. Destroy a pillar made out of concrete and a floor of a skyscraper could come down. Destroy the steel core of a building's structure, and the entire thing could collapse. The best part about all this is the fact that there's no predefined rules of destruction. Where you shoot is where the disintegration is going to occur, meaning that you can undermine a structure in whatever ways you need. If you need to make a doorway in a wall, you can do that. Or if you need to make a hole just big enough for the barrel of a sniper to fit through, you can do that as well. And it makes multiplayer a heck of a lot more engaging than just using doors or windows. And of course, if you have a building full of hostile players, you can just take out the key supports and bring the whole thing down. This is mind-blowing tech. It's a whole new level of realism, not just for destructibility, but because each and every building has an inside to it, and that these buildings are actual constructions is incredible. It makes it feel more real and not just a gimmick of hollow shells. And if you couple this with Crackdown's ridiculous, over-the-top, superhero-esque gameplay of running, jumping, transforming cars, gang lords, explosions, 4-player co-op, and PvP multiplayer in a fully destructible open-world game that builds off of its predecessors instead of reinventing it. This looks like one hell of a game. Here's the catch. Does it look awesome? Yes. Does it look too good to be true? Yeah. And it might be, might not be. We haven't heard anything from Microsoft regarding the cloud and gaming in about a year. That may not mean anything, but for the tech of this game to work on the Xbox One, it requires the cloud. The cloud is what processes, server-side, everything that's happening in the game as far as destruction is concerned. It grants roughly 20 times the computational power of the Xbox One. So if they can't get the cloud side to work properly, then the game probably won't work either. Again, the fact that we haven't heard anything isn't necessarily a bad sign. Hopefully we hear things very soon about how Crackdown 3 is going to release in 2017, and it's going to be like everything that we've seen. Fingers crossed.
You know what I remember most? Riding the open road. The smell of your hair. The touch of your skin. I remember you. But those days are gone. Now I'm a drifter. And for me, the broken road is all that's left. But I'll always remember.
At first glance, this may look like just another zombie game, or a Last of Us clone, but it's really neither. The zombies you're seeing aren't undead, or reanimated corpses, but instead feral humans. Think of the Rage virus from 28 Days Later. That is why they drop after a couple of hits, and why headshots are not a top priority. These are fast, killable, and travel in hordes. The simple act of killing zombies in a zombie game should be fun. I hope that it's able to fill the hole of satisfying zombie-slaying gameplay that Left 4 Dead left. Valve, please make more games. I'm excited that they're not undead. They're feral humans. We can shred them in the chest, the neck, the shoulders. Doesn't matter. We are getting clever gameplay instead of hinging everything around headshots. This opens up gameplay possibilities of having actual roaming hordes. Big ones, where you have to chip away at the horde chasing you through shooting, explosives, breaking the environment, putting everything between you and them as you slow them down in any way you can. It feels like most zombie games encourage either holding your ground or run and don't bother looking back. I think that the desperation of having masses of zombies and stringing them out, whittling them down through multiple means is going to be exhilarating. Outside of Left 4 Dead, we've never really had a zombie game with this style of zombie where it's a fast, massive wave of them, seemingly with no end. I want to feel tense, nervous, never getting a moment to relax in the heat of it, and eventually just having muscle memory and reflexes take over. Since we have so few details, we don't know the size of the open world yet, but more importantly than that, it looks dense. I don't need the map to be the size of GTA 5, as long as it's really well designed and full of life. No pun intended, but I want to see major zombie hordes roaming around as I'm exploring on my bike. A beautiful, almost seemingly desolate countryside at first glance, until you see the zombies, and there's a shit ton of them. And you gotta fight them and survive through a bunch of different awesome locations that change depending on what journey you're taking. In addition to all this, the story seems like it's pretty cool. Unfortunately and fortunately, this is a PlayStation 4 exclusive, so I got my fingers crossed for an Uncharted 4 level of polish. Based on the footage and trailers we've seen of Ghost Recon Wildlands, it actually seems like they've built up a world and not just a large map, and that's very important because the bigger an open world map is, the easier it is to feel lifeless and boring. Ubisoft has said that Wildlands is the largest, most realistic open world environment that they have ever created. The environments include 9 different types of terrain such as mountains, forests, salt flats, deserts, and it also includes a dynamic weather system with a day-night cycle. And the day-night cycle and weather system both change gameplay. Wildlands is also moving away from the Ghost Recon Future Soldier futuristic gameplay and back to the OG Ghost Recon tech. The scale of the environments in Ghost Recon Wildlands are immense, but what makes that cool is the fact that it has a purpose of being so big. Wildlands gives you a lot of freedom in how you want to tackle objectives, and the size of the maps, and the fact that they're open world expands the gameplay opportunities even further. Large maps are cool, but large maps with a purpose and a reason for being large are infinitely cooler. Wildlands is going to feature a variety of vehicles such as dirt bikes, helicopters, and dune buggies. It also has 4-player cooperative multiplayer, in which you can play the entire campaign with 4-player co-op. You can also play it solo with 3 AI companions that you can give orders to if you so desire. And there's side missions for the first time. So you can not only play the campaign, but you can also explore the game's world and do side missions, just hanging out, doing recon stuff. But I guess most importantly is the fact that the open world design of the game has strayed away from the typical Ubisoft open world formula that the internet has gotten very tired of, and to be honest, that makes me really excited. Open world games make me nervous, namely because I don't enjoy being bored. It looks like they're going for a mix of Metal Gear Solid 5's seamless blending of stealth and action, but with co-op tactical operations. If they can pull that off and make these enormous environments feel alive, and I don't just mean a couple NPCs around, I mean to pull off the feeling of actually navigating through the greater part of Bolivia, taking down drug cartels, it could be fantastic.
Open your eyes. Wake up, Link.
Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is not only the largest Zelda game we've ever gotten, but it's also a launch title for the Nintendo Switch, Nintendo's brand new console. With Nintendo's secrecy rivaling that of Apple's, we don't have many details to go on, let alone the exact size of the open world. We have a few images to go on, and just by those images alone, we know that this is going to be the largest Legend of Zelda game ever made. There are those speculating that the map is indeed huge, but with a ton of empty space. I wouldn't bet on that. Nintendo hasn't shown us anything outside of a very small area that they've designated for demo purposes. There are towns and villages and a lot of NPCs, but they haven't shown us any of that yet. In fact, we've only been seeing the Wii U version of Breath of the Wild gameplay, except for a brief clip on Jimmy Fallon. The story is set in Hyrule and follows amnesiac protagonist Link, who awakens from a 100-year slumber to a mysterious voice that guides him to defeat Calamity Ganon. The fact that the open world environment is 12 times larger than the overworld in Twilight Princess is impressive, but what's truly amazing is the advanced physics engine they've put into this open world environment. It's incredible how Legend of Zelda actually created a living world where physics matters. It doesn't play like a library of animations pasted over a landscape. It's almost as if you're playing inside of a tech demo. There's moments where Link cuts down a tree to create a bridge, or when he's cutting plants and the wind happens to blow the plants into fire, the plant catches on fire, and then the wind continues to blow the on-fire plant, creating a big brush fire. That could happen anywhere in the world, because it's dynamic, it's physics. Whatever actions you take in this world will have natural and logical reactions. The fact that we're seeing this unbelievable depth and creativity in gameplay in a Legend of Zelda open world game first is astounding. The music is breathtaking, the story is intriguing, the gameplay is engaging, and the visuals are straight out of a Hayao Miyazaki film. It may not feel like it, but Mass Effect Andromeda is actually the first game in the franchise to be open world, and that's wonderful. Mass Effect, the first Mass Effect, blew me away when I first played it on release, and it felt open world to me. It was magical. So, in the year 2017, getting a true open world Mass Effect game, I'm excited. Andromeda feels like they're going back to the roots of what made Mass Effect great, and building off of that foundation with 2017 technology, utilizing the full power of the current consoles that they have at their disposal. The developers have gone on record saying that Mass Effect Andromeda's size is staggering. Currently, we don't know the exact size of the game, but during an interview with PlayStation Magazine, BioWare stated that currently planets take around 50 minutes to drive across, but depending on the planet's size and the density and the amount of content, this could be expanded to 60 minutes or reduced to 30. And I really appreciate how developers are now thinking about density. That's very key. Thanks to gameplay focused around exploration, the Mako is making a return in the form of the Nomad, a customizable vehicle for ease and efficiency of exploring planets. The Andromeda Galaxy that houses the solar systems you're to explore is apparently 4 times the size of what you could explore in Mass Effect 3. And that's old news that they haven't commented on in a while, so it could be much bigger than that. Regardless, this is definitely going to be BioWare's largest game, which is very fitting, seeing as you're in command of a starship. Its mission? To explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go and romance female Turians that haven't been romanced before. Gameplay and gunplay have been changed up. It's no longer just solely about cover-based shooting. Classes are no longer present. Instead, you can assign any skills that you want anywhere and reassign them at any time. Biotics and movement have also been refined. Nice. Returning to the spirit of Mass Effect 1 and the wonder of discovery and exploration has really got me hyped. It really just can't come soon enough.
Where the trail leads, I will go.
Horizon Zero Dawn feels like a true labor of love. After 9 years of creating just Killzone games, the artists and designers at Guerrilla Games can finally go wild. They can do whatever they want. Complete freedom of creativity and inspiration. And in my experience, sometimes that can breed a little magic. Horizon Zero Dawn has been in development since 2011. The graphics and animations are world-class, stunning, top-notch, really. And all that's well and good, but what matters most to me is I don't want to be bored, because open-world games can be oh so boring. But the gameplay looks tight. It actually looks like the combat mechanics are creative and fun in how you take down these Zoid-like creatures. It looks like you're not just going to be shooting at these things until the health bar is empty. Thank God. Doom could have easily been one of the most boring games of 2016, but the gameplay was tight, and I found myself returning to it constantly just to shoot a little more because it was addicting and I liked it. I actually loved the gameplay of Doom. Imagine that! Fun gameplay is fun! We don't know what the size of the map is for Horizon Zero Dawn, but the developers themselves said it doesn't really matter how big the map is. Ask yourself how dense the population of that map is, what the activities are, what the details are like. A ginormous map with absolutely nothing in it, just a flat, plain old white surface. It ain't gonna be fun. The good thing is the world actually looks alive. The life in the world almost reminds me of Avatar. The creatures are badass. They're really cool looking. Kinda remind me of Zoids. I really like the look of this world. I'm excited to see more of the creatures. I'm excited to explore it. And as for the story, John R. Gonzalez, who was the main writer on Fallout New Vegas, was hired to write the story, so it should be good. Let's hope that this game is more Witcher 3 RPG than Far Cry 4 RPG. And I wouldn't be disappointed if it took a few pages from Monster Hunter either. Rockstar is very secretive. We have no details whatsoever on the map size except for these leaks. Is it accurate? Are these leaks true? We have no goddamn idea. Hopefully it is, but at least we know that the map is going to be bigger than the first already substantial size. But more importantly, it's going to be deep. We can already tell how deep it is just from the trailers. Red Dead Redemption 2 is a prequel before Red Dead Redemption 1. It takes place at least before 1910. It's an open world populated with trains, cattle herders. You got people hunting, you've got Indians, you got snow-capped mountains, you got varmints, you got buffalo, and posses. Most importantly, you got posses. The only thing that could possibly stall my hype for Red Dead Redemption 2 would be Rockstar itself. I'm sure they'll prove me wrong, but I'm a little nervous of the success of shark cards in Grand Theft Auto Online from GTA 5. The ridiculously large amount of people that bought ridiculous amounts of shark cards for Grand Theft Auto Online may have ruined Rockstar. I'm going to trust that Rockstar is going to focus on making awesome games instead of making games that generate more microtransaction money, but we'll see. I'm a big fan of what they did with the original Red Dead Redemption and a huge fan of spaghetti westerns, so being able to play a spaghetti western again is a really enticing concept for me. Hopefully, this game actually does release in 2017. Even if it doesn't, we'll at least get some more information soon. If you ask yourself why Spider-Man isn't on this list of interesting open-world games of 2017, then I like you, because that's a good question. The truth is, I already went over the small amount of information we have of Spider-Man PS4 as much as I possibly could in my top 7 games of 2017 breakdown. So if you want to see some of the most mind-blowing games of 2017 and what makes them so amazing, click on the link. It should be right here in the video right now, or at least in the description or the comment section or something. Anyway, if you enjoyed this breakdown and want to see more, subscribe, leave a like, join our YouTube fam, and leave a comment down below letting me know what your most anticipated game of 2017 is. I'm looking forward to the adventures we're going to share together this year in gaming, but until then, game massively and take care.